In this lesson, we're going to look at the next version of the if statement, which is called the IfElse. So let's create a new class, and we're going to name it IfElse. Click OK. Then let's open the editor. Remove all the extra fluff that we don't need. Right to there. Whoops. Didn't go quite far enough. That's all right. Fix that. Then write public static void main. Add our curly braces. And we're ready to go. First thing I want to do though is come out here outside the program. We'll go down one. And let's talk about the syntactical form of the if-else. It looks like this. First you have the if along with your relational expression. Then inside that will of course be your statements, and we'll just reference the statements like this. You get the idea. Next you have the else, which simply stands on its own, followed by an open curly brace again, followed by another set of statements if you need them, one or more. Actually, to be theoretically precise, 0 or more. And then a curly brace to end the statement. So let's take a look at that again. You have your if and a relational expression, and then a set of statements. The first set of statements is executed if the relational expression is true. If the relational expression is false, then we immediately go down to the second block, or the block under the else, and execute the statements that are in that block. And this is called an if-else statement. Let's take a look at an example. I think it'll be very clear from the example. What we're going to do is write a very simple payroll program. So we're going to have a pay rate, and we'll just make it something really simple, $10 an hour. Then we're going to have a number of hours, and we'll say they're 45. So then we're going to create, we'll call this gross pay. And that's what we're going to define as gross pay. So let's set that equal to 0 just to be on the safe side. It's a double, so we'll set it to 0.0. Now here's where our if statement comes in. We're going to say if hours are greater than 40, if that's the case, then gross pay is equal to, and I'm going to probably maybe put too many parentheses here, hours minus 40 times pay rate times 1.5 plus, and then 40 times pay rate. Make sure we don't need another set of parentheses. No, we don't. So we'll put a semicolon. And just for fun, we'll do a system out print line gross pay. Whoops, there we go. Now we'll close our if, and then we're going to say else. And again, notice how I use the parentheses on the same line just to save a little space, and that's my particular style. Otherwise, gross pay is equal to hours times pay rate. We don't want to say 40 times pay rate, because what if the number of hours is less than 40? And we'll put another system out print line here also. Normally I wouldn't put the system out print line right here. I'd only have one. But here I'm trying to highlight the fact that you can have more than one statement inside the block, but that's really a duplication. So in subsequent programs, I won't have anything like that in here twice in a program. So let's compile and execute that. Check for errors. Oops. So you see I have a little typo here. I didn't put gross pay in camel casing, so let's fix that. Now let's compile again. No syntax errors, so we're ready to go. So we'll close, and then we'll execute main. And as I expected, it's 475 because we took the hours that were greater than 45 and multiplied those times 1.5 or 15 to give us an extra 75. And then the $10 times 40 gave us 400, so 400 plus 75 is 475. Let's go back into the program. Let's change that to 40. And let's add another statement here. I should have done this on the front end and just kind of forgot. Just so we'll know that the else part is the one that's executing. Let's compile. No syntax errors, so we'll run it again. So this time it said calculating regular time, and it's 400.0. So let's take a look at our syntactical form once more. So you have the if followed by the relational expression, and then a set of statements in the if block if the relational expression is true. If the relational expression is false, then the statements inside the else block will be executed. And we demonstrated that in our payroll program by checking to see if hours were greater than 40. If they were, then we execute the statements in the if block. If not, as we show when we put the hours back down to 40, then the statements in the else block are the ones that are executed. So that's how the if-else statement works. And in the next lesson, we're going to look at the last version of the if, and that's the if-else if.